Hey, what's up, y'all? So, as we know, we are heading or in a recession, and there's a lot going on economically that a lot of us haven't experienced, at least not all at once. When you think about what's happening, we have the recession happening. That's one thing. You have the feds raising rates because they're trying to now fight inflation, and still we have a lot of effects from the pandemic that are still very persistent and still very relevant right now. So in this video, I kind of want to give you kind of like a surviving the recession or having a recession proof mindset starter pack, right? Because in a recession, it means that there is opportunity, and anytime you have something crazy going on, it just means there's just more opportunity. However, this is very unique because we have things going up in price, but also some people are losing their income or getting less money because of the recession and how that affects things economically. Now, I know some of you have probably heard this information. It seems a little cliche, but you really have to understand that in order to really succeed, you definitely don't want to be reactive. You have to be proactive. Now, a lot of the corporations and stuff, they're put in the headlines you see, they're talking about the recession that's coming. Guys, we're pretty much in one, but it doesn't feel like because of the way things are, in our society nowadays versus, 2006 through 2009. Like, for example, the advancement in entertainment and social media, you don't really feel like anything going on because when you go on, you see everybody living their best life and posting the greatest pictures. So it doesn't feel funny, but yet there are a lot of things going on. For example, our inflation is definitely up, but then what about the inflation in our homes? How much more are we actually paying, within our home? It's probably much more higher than what it is than, the average rate of inflation. So one of the first things you want to understand is, listen, stop spending or don't spend unnecessary money. Meaning just watch the money you spend and think twice when it concerns, considering, starting to acquire some type of debt, even if it's buying a home or buying a car. Keep in mind, yes, our rates are up a little bit higher than what they were like 2 years ago, but some of those rates are kind of around the same amount that it was. If you actually look on the chart, you'll see these rates are very congruent with rates that we've had in the past. But the difference is that we are now spending a lot more money because of inflation. So in purchasing a home or buying a car or whatever you're looking to purchase, we're talking about like those big purchases, you want to think twice about it to make sure you can actually afford it. For example, if you're purchasing a home, don't just look at the mortgage price. Think about how much it will cost to maintain, average water prices in the area, electricity, etc. I know a lot of people get funny when you come from their spending habits, but in times like these, you want to watch how you spend your money, and especially if you don't know if your job is going to be steady, etc. But then also for another reason, and that is you also want to look for opportunities, or there will be opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities that come up in recessions and in times like these where it's just very, funny and just you don't know really what's going on. The economy is going this way, going that way. A lot of opportunities tend to present itself because of what most people tend to do. So let's say, for example, if we're talking about the stock market, for an example, most people are tending and have started to just run away from the stock market, which means you start to see a lot more prices decrease and decline. And so you have some good companies that are fine, but the stock price is just damaged because of the fear that's in the market, which makes a good opportunity for you to invest. The same thing as you start to see things happen in real estate and people are now starting to drop prices here and there in different places. That means you might find something at a good price. But if you don't have the money or you're not prepared to jump on an opportunity, it simply just becomes an observation and a lesson. Which leads to the next point, which is stashing some cash, having some cash on hand, preferably, in a high yield savings account, but just having some liquid cash, some emergency, just in case you need it, meaning money that you can actually get your hands on. Now, depending on your budget, depends on how much emergency funds you want to have access to. There are plenty of good rule of thumbs that you can go by. For example, let's say if your monthly household expenses and things that you need to pay for every single month is like $3,000. You want to try to save up at least 3 months to a year of just those emergency expenses, just in case anything happens. At least you can take care of your home. Now, I know some of this information might have been helpful a year ago, and I know not everybody makes that type of income to where they can just save up, 3 months or 12 months. But I'm just giving you the idea of you do want to have some type of emergency fund. And sometimes you can find money by just watching how you do what? Spend your money. Because if you're not spending your money everywhere, you might find that you have enough cash to kind of stash. Now, in the same instance of your watching your money, you also want to prepare and at least have other ways of making money. I don't really think there's much to say about that, but you just want to have other opportunities and other ways that you can make money so that you're not just dependent on one source of income. Now, the next thing is debt. You want to watch your debt during times like these, and this doesn't apply necessarily to everyone because not everyone can help it, but you want to watch your debt. For some, this might be the time to get your debt as low as possible, especially if you find yourself in the stock market and you're doing things like, buying stocks on margin. You do not want to have margin in this market, period. And during this time, if you do, you're probably losing quite a bit of money. So you want to get rid of those debt things that are just a hassle that can be a problem in the future, especially if, like I said, if you're working a job and you have all these different things pulling on you and you feel like your job is a little shaky right now and they're talking shaky, you might want to start preparing and trying to see how you can lower that debt if it's in your means to do so. Now, I already alluded to this with opportunities and things that are available. Like, those opportunities can span through whether it's investing or buying something, or whether it's just simply just being able to start a business during this time, or having an idea where you can serve or solve a problem. But being able to invest during this time where the prices are a lot lower right now is definitely a good move. Like, everybody loves to chase the hype. They love to chase the hype, especially in the stock market. But in times like these are times where a lot of people tend to run away from the market when the prices are cheaper. But when the prices are higher and everybody's talking about it, everybody's running to it. That's not necessarily what you want to do if you're trying to invest long-term or invest successfully or just in general. So right now, while everybody's talking about, oh my gosh, the market, it's crashing, it's going down, it's actually great. It's just like you go into the grocery store and everything in the store is now 70-80% less. Now, lastly, understand this, that yes, we are in a recession and the recession can get worse going into the next year. And yes, the Feds may also raise the interest rates even higher. Yes, all that may happen. However, it does not mean that you have to live in fear, and it does not mean that you can't win. So one of the other things you want to make sure you do is to adjust your mindset and not get caught up in the flow of how things are going, but understand that you can still win no matter what's happening. And all it takes is you to believe, for you to get the right knowledge, for you to prepare, and make some strategic moves. So the mindset has to be that recession means another door of great opportunities. But this is just your recession-proof starter kit, just to get you out the door so that you understand how you can still succeed and virtually, like, no matter what happens, you can still be on the come up. Now, if this has been helpful, share with someone else, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace. Love you.